Welcome to the Black Ribbon Warrior Podcast YouTube channel. I am your host, Lee, and I am a stage 4 metastatic melanoma cancer survivor. If you're new to the channel, I had a lymph node that was inflamed, and then it had traveled to my brain, and I had a ping pong ball sized tumor between my brain and my skull, which we did radiation to get rid of that, and then brain surgery to scrape all that out. And then we did 12 months of immunotherapy. And as of today, we are 2 years and a few months into surveillance mode. So that's pretty awesome. But I wanted to share something I got extremely wrong during my healing. So we found this out in July of 2021. And when I was going through the brain surgery and, healing from that, I mean, it took a lot of people by surprise that something was going on. I mean, cancer does that, right? And because you don't plan that, oh, hey, and, of July of 2021, you're going to be diagnosed. You don't know this stuff, right? So the one thing, and it was very, very, very frustrating for me, was when people would ask me, what do you need? What can I do for you? Do you need anything? And I was so frustrated because I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on really, because I was kind of out of it, being that this was affecting my brain. I didn't know. And I just said, I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know what's going on. Just quit asking. And it took me a while. In fact, it took this book that I was reading by an author named Don Piper. I'd read this book way back in like 2007, 2006, and he had went through, his book's called 90 Minutes in Heaven, and he goes through the story of this car accident that he was in. And then everything that happened what he saw as far as his experience in heaven. And then he talks about what happened when he gets back to Earth, and the being in the hospital and those feelings, and I could 100% relate, because I had a real nasty car accident in 1994, in which my sister had passed away because of that. So I had a lot of those feelings. And when I'm reading this one part, he talks about how he was feeling depressed. The depression just comes in because you're stuck in the hospital bed. You can't get up. You can't do anything for yourself. Like you're just in a spot. And I get that. I mean, and I was there. And he talks about how people would always ask, what can I do for you? Can I get you anything? And he'd always say, no, I'm not. And they'd always kind of, oh, okay, and then walk away. And it got to where, and I noticed that in my journey with the cancer, and people would ask me, what do you need? What can I do for you? And you say nothing. Well, then they stop asking. Where they were trying to show their love for you, their support, their generosity in being able to help you in a time of need. Because when a family member needs help, you jump in there and you help them. So they were trying to reciprocate that love and show that love, and I missed it. I missed the boat completely. So I want to throw that out there is people are going to ask you what can they do, and even if it's just let's just sit down and plan a day and let's go get a coffee or anything like that, just to spend time together. Do a study or read a book or something, watch a movie together, something that if you're in the hospital, then you could just use this time as a spoil the kids for a second. If you could get the kids a milkshake, or some way to let them help you to ease this time. And I mean, let's face it, if you're in this position and you feel run down, you're wore out, you don't want to be a burden. You don't want to be imposed on anybody. You don't want to put anybody out. But here's the thing that I missed, because I was like that, and that's the pride talking. You're too proud to ask for help or to let somebody help you. And it sounds kind of rough, but it is. But think of it like this. If they came to see you in the hospital or they came to see you at your house, then they don't mind a little something extra. They want that need. They desire that need to make a difference in your life in that moment. And by us declining them, we're taking away their opportunity to show their love. We're declining that we want their love and their support. Because if some of these people, friends, family that come over, if they could, they would trade places with you. If they could, they would take that pain away for a little while, if not all together. If they could, they probably would. And here's this opportunity where you physically can't or emotionally can't, but they can. Does that make sense? So you're emotionally drained and just you can't get in anymore. It's not an imposition for your friend to come over and lift your spirits by enjoying a cup of coffee or playing a game of checkers or whatever kind of silly thing you want to do, or just sit in a chair and stare at each other. We had families that would prepare meals for us, and they would, you remember back in the day when somebody would pass away or whatever, somebody had an illness, a severe illness, and there was always casseroles being brought to the house, lasagnas, that kind of stuff. So you didn't have to worry about eating. I had a cousin who lives about 9 hours north of me, and he reached out to a company, purchased ready-made meals, and sent that to us. So we didn't have to worry about food for the weekend, for a week. On top of that, we had another couple from our church group that they made it their mission every Friday to stop somewhere and get food for the weekend for the 5 of us kids, me, my wife, and 3 kids, to make sure that there was food, not just for one meal, but for the whole weekend. So you think about that you're feeding 4 or 5 people for 2-3 meals at one time. That's a nice chunk of change. But that was their way of ministering and helping a fellow person and somebody that and we've really gotten to know them really well. And, they were a huge blessing because they didn't ask. They just, hey, we're showing up at this time and, make sure you got pants on. that was their whole thing for me, because there was times I was just in gym shorts and that was it because of the hot flashes and whatnot. So does that mean you have to say yes to everybody who asks? No, you don't. You will pick up on when somebody's just trying to help and when somebody is loyally trying to help. Does that make that's kind of off? But you'll run into people who just want to help because they heard you're in a bind and they feel moved to do it, like they're part of your outer inner social circle. You have your core, like your brothers, sisters, maybe in my case cousins, and then you have the ones you don't see that often that said, oh hey, here's like $20, go, or $50 and gift card. And you don't have to tell people all the time yes, but you do have to leave the door open to where if it is a point that the lawnmower doesn't run and the grass needs cut and you are physically unable to go do it, that you can say, yeah, you could tell your best friend, I need the grass cut. Can you help me get my mower started? Or, and in that case, they will probably bring their own lawnmower and cut the grass for you. But you'll run into little things like that. And then what this does, and this is what I completely missed it too, was that one strengthens the relationship between you and that person. It allows you to realize that you're not 10 feet tall and bulletproof and you can do it all on your own. As human beings, we depend on other people. And you think, nope, I can do it all myself. No, you really can't, because you're not out there growing your own food. You're not out there butchering your own cows. You're not out there, baking your own breads. Like, you're not doing everything yourself. In some ways, you do depend on other people. You depend on the YouTube and the TikToks and the other social medias to get you out of a situation or thinking about a situation. So you depend on people for that. But you don't have to open up and spill your guts to everybody. And, but it is nice and it is good to open up and to certain ones and let them know, what's going on. And the true friends will tell you it is okay to yell the F word as loud as you can and get on with the next day. Another kind of excuse that I would use is I was trying to be strong for them. For my family members that couldn't be here to help me, that I was trying to do things on my own to show that I can handle this, when really I couldn't. I was a mess. But it was that lie to them. And what that ended up doing, and I didn't realize this, because again, I missed the boat on this completely, was I cheated them out of the opportunity to make me better. And that is so important, because, like I said, we need other people. We, as an individual, get better with a group. The old term, it takes a village. It does. So I will leave you with this. Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. And I recommend let the people express their love by helping you, in a sense that is kind of they're showing God's love, and that He is there and He sent people who care about you to better you and to help lighten this burden that we know is cancer, because it's not an easy road, and it's not. Life will never be the same afterwards. Well, with that, it's hard for a guy to admit that he's wrong, but when I'm wrong, I like to say I'm wrong. And I had gotten it completely wrong on this topic, and it's taken me a while to put it out there and admit it. So, rock on, my Black Ribbon Warriors. You guys are awesome. Stay strong, and we'll talk to you guys on the next one.